In this video, I'll show you the Canvas Speedgrader. To access the Speedgrader from the gradebook, hover over one of the gradebook items, click on the three dots icon to the right, and then click on Speedgrader. Speedgrader can be used for quizzes, discussions, and assignments. First, I'll show you how it works with a quiz. I will access the Speedgrader, and it opens in a new window. Here we can see the student has made a submission to this quiz. This shows us their actual quiz questions and answers, whether they got them correct or incorrect, and what the correct answer is. We can also see at the top of the page when they started it and how long the attempt took to take. Plus their grade is listed here. Over on the right, we can see their grade, which has been automatically calculated by Canvas. And we can add a comment in if we'd like. The Speedgrader for a discussion, here you are seeing only the discussion posts that were made by this one student. So rather than opening a discussion and scrolling through looking for a student's name to see all of their posts, this is going to show you just the post that this student made. Speedgrader for an assignment, there are a lot more options for. If this is an assignment that a student has submitted a file upload for, that file will display on the left-hand side of the page. And then over on the right-hand side, we have the options for grading, for rubrics. If we have added a rubric to the assignment, we can grade with the rubric, and again, to add comments. I'll show you how to do all that in a minute, but first I'd like to show you one that has already been graded so you can see what we can do here. Now, when we click on Speedgrader, Canvas automatically takes us to the first ungraded submission. So here I am on Train 1. I have already graded Train 2, I've already graded Train 1, and I want to go back to that. First of all, to move from student to student, we can use these arrows in the upper right. We can go back one student or forward to the next student. We can also click the drop down to the right of the student's name. Here we see color-coded items. So we can see here that Train 1, that's a green check mark, which means it has been submitted and graded. Train 2 here is orange. That means the student has submitted, but it has not been graded. The others are grayed out because no submission has been made at all. For a small course like this, it wouldn't be bad for me to just click a couple of times to get to the next student. But if you've got a lot of students in your class and the first and last ones are the ones that have submitted so far, you're not going to want to click the arrow to go next, to get to that last student. So that's what the drop down is for. You simply click the drop down and then go to the student that you want to go to. So I'm going to click on Train 1 so I can see their submission. Now, once this loads, here on the left-hand side, you can see the annotations. Annotations are things you can add directly to the student's paper to let them know about things you want them to know. And so there are few different types of annotations we can add. This has an example of all of them. So this one here, the little blue bubble, that is what is called a point annotation. Now, if I hover over the point annotation, a little dotted line takes me over to here. That's letting me know that I've added a comment that goes with it, and that arrow is letting me know the comment and the item. It links them together, so you know which one it's pointing to. And that's important if you have a lot. That way you're not sure which one does it point to. You can just click on it or hover over it, and it will automatically point so you know what you're pointing to. So a point annotation is just a little point saying you want to tell them something about this specific point right here. Next, we have highlighting. So you can see here I've highlighted this text. Strikeout. So if you need to cross something out, you do your strikeout. This is a freeform drawing, which, as you can see, it's kind of hard to, at least for me, to draw with a mouse, but this is a drawing on the page. Free text is a text box that just gets added on top of the paper. You have to be careful with this one though, because if it is within the text, it's going to cover over it and you're not going to be able to tell what's underneath it. So that's not usually the best option. Plus, to me, it doesn't seem to stand out as well as these text box over on the right. Last, we have what's called the area annotation. In this, you can circle an entire section. It automatically adds that little square box around it and then add your comment. All right, so those are the annotations. Over on the right-hand side, we have a grade box where if we do not have a rubric, we can just enter a score in. If we have a rubric, it's going to show up underneath here. We can do our grading with that rubric. And then at the bottom, we have a comments box where we can add comments directly to the student for the entire assignment. All right, now I'm going to skip to the next ungraded student so I can show you how to do those annotations. Once it loads. All right, there it goes. Sorry for that. All right, so now here I'm going to show you the different annotation types, how you add them. So the first one here is the point annotation. I can select that. I can choose which color I would like this to be. So maybe I want to have it purple. Then I just come to where I want to point something out and I click there and it adds that dot there. And then over here on the right, I can add a comment about that. So all right, next I will show you it is the highlight. So I click on that. And again, I can choose which color I would like this highlighting to be. So maybe I want green. And then I come in and I highlight what I would like to highlight. Now with highlighting, you can add a comment if you would like, but you don't have to. Points, no one's going to know what this means, but with the highlighting, you can add a comment or not. Maybe you'll tell your students, I'm going to highlight everything in green if it's a spelling mistake, everything in yellow if it's a punctuation mistake, that type of a thing. But I'll add a comment by clicking on this little comment box. And now I can say, okay. Next is that free text annotation. If you do decide you want to use that, you want to find a blank area. You click and it adds your little text box and then you can just start typing. And with this, we have the choice, the text color and the text size. All right, next we have the strikeout. So I click on that strikeout annotation and then I just drag my mouse across what I would like to cross out. And again, with this one, I can click on, I didn't like something I did. So I can click on that comment box and then leave a comment. This is the strikeout. Free draw annotation. This is where I'll try to circle something. All right, and with this I can change the line color and the size too. If I want to make sure it stands out a little bit better, I can make the line size bigger. And again, I can add a comment with that if I would like to, but I don't need to. All right, and then lastly is the area annotation. And so with this, I simply put my cursor at the top and then I drag to make my box. And then I add my comment. And I can't remember what it's called. Okay, so now I've added all my annotations after I've gone through and read my student's paper. From there, I'll come over here on the right-hand side and do my grading. If I want to just enter a grade, if I don't have a rubric or I don't want to use it, I can just click in the box and enter my score. If I want to use a rubric and I have already attached it prior to grading, I click there and then I am going to drag this so I can see. And then I just pick, okay, yep, here, and then this, and then this. and it automatically, if I have set this up correctly, it will add the total score into that points box at the top of the page once I'm done. I can also click in these and add specific comments here too. Like if I want to put here why spelling, maybe there's specific things that they got wrong every time, and that's why I've taken off. I can add a comment by clicking here and letting them know more details about why I gave them only 5 rather than 10. All right, so once I'm done filling out my rubric, I click on Save. This was set up correctly, so my points automatically were added to that box. Then we have the comment at the bottom. This is the overall comment where I can say something like great paper, or hey, next time do this, or whatever overall comment I would like to make to the students. Good job on your paper. Now, a new feature has been added, and that is a comment library, okay? This is if you're finding yourself doing the same comments over and over again, this allows you to turn on comment the library and then add comments that are frequently used and then search and find them. So by clicking on that little icon and then turning on show suggestions when I'm typing, so that when I start typing, it's going to automatically pull up ones that might match what I'm saying. And then I can type a comment down here and add it to my library to automatically add something in. So that's a newer feature that allows you to save and then easily reuse comments that you use all the time. Once I've added a comment, whether it's by typing it in or by using your comment library, you have to click Submit to submit that comment. If you don't, it will be just saved as a draft, and you'll see it, but the student will not see it. So I'm going to click on Submit. All right, and then here you see that box is gone, and you can tell there is a timestamp. That's how I know that that comment was submitted. All right, so what I want to show you now is what does all this look like to the student. So here I am logged in as the Train 2, the one we just graded. I'm going to go to Grades. Here they can see that little dots letting them know there is a new score. So they can see they got a 25 out of 30. If I click on this little comment box here, that only shows me the overall comment. Hey, good job on your paper. That's all they see there. This is a little statistics. It lets you know, sorry, that shows you the rubric. So here you can see they can look at the details on the rubric of why they got that 25 out of 30. And then I'll close the rubric. To see any of the other details, all those annotated comments and whatnot, they have to click on the title of the assignment to access it. So here at the top, they can see they have 25 out of 30. If I scroll down here, you can see the rubric. My paper would not load, so let me try that again. All right, and now that this paper has loaded, here the students can see all of those annotations you added. That way they can see all of the details right on the paper that you added. Okay.